Welcome to a 2v2 on Lierneux. This game is going to be CaptainSPrice and Barton, the Poland pals. I should come up with a cute nickname for them. I kind of like Poland pals, actually. I can probably think of something better. Versus Tarquinius Superbus and Ace of Swords GG Relic, apparently. So,
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
double Soviets on the right versus double Oster on the left. We're going to see Barton picking Luftwaffe supply immediately. CaptainSPrice has access to Lightning War, close air support, and Jaeger armor. And the Soviets have completely standard meta loadout, guard motor, shock rifle, and then some third thing that I'm sure neither of them will pick. Actually, no, a pretty good chance of mechanized support. Maybe Soviet Combined Arms Army. I could see that. They've both got guards. There's a lot of guards, a lot of shocks, and a lot of call-ins. So, I mean, whatever. Pretty standard stuff. Conscripts taking control of this point initially are actually going to back away from Pyos. They're probably going to be fine. More Pyos on their way. We're going to see double sniper from Barton and CaptainSPrice just Pyo spamming. So they're executing some sort of strange troll strategy here that I'm certainly not familiar with. This squad of Pyos heading straight north is losing against combat engineers charging across this road. Thanks for following, Rivet 9K. Headphones died. And thanks also for following, Irod. Okay, here we go. I think the Pyos are going to have to retreat from this. I don't think they're going to win. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe the Pyos will win. Okay. Combat engineers retreat. Pyos win barely, and we'll be able to get the north fuel under control. Sniper making its way through this area might get caught by those conscripts. Fires once. Wow, I can't believe so much of that volley missed in red cover. That's a lucky sniper. 2 shots missed. Sniper takes another shot and then immediately retreats. More Pyos moving up with 2 conscripts dead. Pyos in this quantity have a pretty decent chance. Oh wow. Will definitely win. Okay, conscripts definitely can't beat this Pyo blob. And there's the retreat. Here in the south, everything will fall into Soviet control. Both munitions and the central fuel all being taken unopposed for now, and the second sniper just got caught out of position again, and both snipers are going to be forced back into Barton's base, who does not have healing yet. Although he does have Luftwaffe medical supplies, which cost 30 munitions, he doesn't have access to them. That sniper barely survived. Got away by a tiny hair. Pyos moving up to engage against conscripts inside this building, and the Axis do have control over the north fuel, throwing down an S-mine field up here, and the clock is currently stopped. There's the medical supplies on the base to heal those snipers, and this Pyo blob is slowly trying to force the conscripts from this building. 1 flamethrower upgrade on the Pyo blob should be able to turn this engagement in their favor. These conscripts did not really utilize buildings or cover and didn't engage very cost effectively here, just kind of let the Pyo blob swarm them. So I think Price will take this engagement, maybe. There's 2 more conscript squads with full health right there though. 2 snipers have arrived to assist in this engagement and start working on these conscript squads and force retreats. Oh, lucky volley right there though, and Price's first flamethrower has already popped.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
This channel's not like 100% dedicated to COH, but for the vast majority of the time, yes, I cast KO2 and play KO2, but sometimes I play like other stuff. But it's pretty unusual. Squad wiped right there. Jeez. By 3 snipers. How many kills do they have? 3, 6, 12. Off to a pretty okay start. They were forced back into the base initially, but now they're bleeding everything hard, and I'm wondering how the Soviets are going to respond to sniper spam. No tier 1 for an M3 with a flamethrower in it. Just tier 2, maybe for a mortar and conscripts. Snipers should be able to perform pretty well against that in this quantity if protected and provided vision for by these Pyos. And Pyos, of course, have extremely good long-range vision, making them good support for snipers.
We have a new sniper under our command.
Justin. I don't know if I would be trying to capture this point with a 1-man. Never mind. The snipers were on their way to kill that, and then he exploded on the S-mine field. So much for that guy. These three conscript squads are making their way center to engage against the Pyos right here. Should be able to push that away. Price is currently up to 7 Pyos, and there are 4 snipers on the field making their way back towards the center. There go the Pyos. Snipers are on their way to try and push this back. Barton might utilize an incendiary round to oh my god, the damage! They're gonna oorah straight towards that sniper. I don't know if he's gonna be able to bleed this or not. Conscripts charging into close range. I think Barton just dropped himself medical supplies up here for the aftermath of this engagement. Pretty sure Barton probably knows that he can't heal in combat, but I feel like Ace of Swords messed this engagement up a little bit. Didn't pass directly towards those snipers when he had the chance. Snipers are just going to try to, oh my god, win this engagement by standing in cover and tanking fire, but 2 snipers are killed in exchange for very few conscripts, and Price's Pyo blob was late to the fight. 1 flamethrower in this blob, and the medical supplies get recovered by those conscripts, giving them the defensive bonuses, I think. I don't actually really remember how medical supplies work now. I'm pretty sure they do not give healing, but they do give some kind of defensive or a buff. And clearly, this fight is going in Soviets' favor. Axis will be forced to make a full retreat. 2 snipers killed, a bunch of Pyos killed. Engagement does not go very well for the Axis, and the flamethrower just got wiped, bringing Price back down to 0 flamethrowers, who has gone close air support and will start spamming flamethrowers probably very hard now, as he redistributes his resources from fuel into munitions. The 2 snipers that are still alive move back up to the front line to try and engage against these conscripts. Wow. Apparently oorahing conscripts straight towards snipers is working pretty well for the allies this game, and they've also got hugely superior map control. Throwing down mines right here, taking all territories here in the south, and they're about to have a triple cap set up against the Axis, who have been pushed completely off the battlefield and have taken huge losses. And they also still have no anti-tank of any kind whatsoever. They would be extremely vulnerable, even to an M3 and a T-70 could probably win the game. As for Soviet players' fuel, 145 and 95, they've both gone tier 2. I don't see any form of technology other than that. The Pyo blob reconstitutes itself here in the middle, and the flamethrowers are doing pretty okay damage to conscripts. This flamethrower in the building has the potential to be quite damaging to this blob, especially if any of these flamethrowers burst on Price's Pyo blob. Flamethrower in the building, flamethrower pops though. RNG goes in Price's favor right there. Molotov toss into the blob, doing a little bit of damage, but he will just walk out of the fire and looks like he's going to be generally okay. And the sniper blob is making its way north to engage against whatever might be up there. There's currently 1 squad of conscripts left mid, and 1 minesweeper engineer squad here in the north that those snipers should have no problem pushing away. Minesweeper moving to capture some territory as well. Mine wipes a Pyo squad right there in the central village. Price might want to consider getting him 1 minesweeper. He's got so many Pyos, I think he could swing 1 minesweeper. He's asking to get demo charged so badly. Minesweeper will retreat from sniper fire there, but gets wiped, and this Pyo minesweeper is heading north to get control of fuel point. Axis might be able to get a little territory back. This blob is going to have to split up. And there's tier 3. T-70 is probably going to be on the field quite soon. Once that happens, there's not much on the field to counter it. We do see tier 2 here from Barton, and his first AT gun's going to come out. He's going to set up an AT gun and sniper composition, and CaptainSPrice has not teched even battle phase 1, has not built a single anything, spammed nothing but flamethrower piles and 1 minesweeper.
We claimed it for the fatherland. Pioneers! Pioneers awaiting orders.
Oh, thank you, Deathmonger.
We have liberated the objective.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Taking pioneers ready for fire. New anti-tank gun has arrived. We are veterans now.
Flamethrower blob moving to engage against these conscripts here in yellow cover. These 2 squads heading north to counter that minesweeper. T-70 is about half done, is going to be hitting the field very soon. A couple squads jump into this building. More engaging right here. Big incendiary round from the snipers on that clump of conscripts from the snipers way back here, stunning 3 squads, which really hurts their ability to deal damage in these high-speed engagements where there's flamethrowers quickly bursting the squad down. Incendiary round really gives a lot of value. Snipers are currently up to 9, 10, and 32 kills. So one of them doing decidedly better than the others, probably the one that's been popping the incendiary rounds, and everything is going to be forced to retreat right here. And this road has turned into a mass grave for conscripts, and unfortunately most of them were forced to retreat before the T-70 arrived, but hopefully this thing will deal massive damage to the Axis. Apparently not really though. A T-gun has arrived, and the T-70, wow, nice use of self-repair. Would have been destroyed, but self-repair activated gives him the tiny little bit of health he needed to get back safely. Normally an AT gun will 2-shot the T-70, and self-repair is a way to give that T-70 one extra hit of survivability. Nicely done. Nicely played. They will have to now be wary of Teller mines, the 1 AT gun, 2nd AT gun actually on its way, 3rd AT gun in production, so 3 AT guns on the field now, 3 snipers. That T-70 unfortunately was just a little late. A little late. There was a very significant amount of time where the Axis had no anti-tank at all. Now 3 AT guns are on the field. CaptainSPrice still hasn't got any though, just Barton. So if the Soviets can make a coordinated effort to clear and steal the existing packs, hopefully with some well-executed infantry flanks rather than just frontal assaults down this road that clearly didn't work very well last time, they should be able to put themselves in a good position for the rest of this game. We've also got the possibility of heavy mortars, and it looks like there's going to be ISU 152 on the field at some point in this game, but not for a while since Ace of Swords has gotten tier 3 into a T-70, and this fuel is going to take some time to tick up. Superbus, on the other hand, will have access to his Collins as soon as he gets to 10 CPs. Flamethrower blob making its way south, sort of. Changes his mind. He hears the heavy mortar firing, so he's gonna try and dance around to avoid taking a huge hit from that thing. Look at this disgusting blob. He's asking to blow up on a demo, or one heavy mortar could just be devastating to this. Oh, that had potential. Didn't do as much damage as it looked like it was going to, but there's still quite a few Pio corpses right there. The blob is being slowly weakened.
Enemy is taking our territory.
Conscript squad oorahs into short range on these snipers, but incendiary round forces the retreat. 2 more making their way into close range, and they will snipe that one. 2 snipers left. Where's the other one? Oh, it's in the base. So this sniper is currently solo for this engagement. 2 AT guns available to counter the T-70, but conscripts seem to be doing pretty okay. Just the flamethrower blob, the only thing that can really deter these waves and waves of Soviet infantry. Sniper's gonna try to seek protection inside this building. T-70 exposes itself to AT gun fire for too long and gets abandoned right there. Might be possible to recover that, but it will be in front of these AT guns if the attempt is made. Gets a lucky crit, but he's not moving fast enough. There he goes. Very lucky that that T-70 is alive. 2 consecutive death crits. Oh no! That flamethrower just got wiped by friendly fire, literally. And the conscripts recover the flamethrower. Well, that's a pretty nice pickup for the Soviets, getting that flamethrower stolen. Price's blob has been reduced to actually still pretty big. 7 Pios and 8th one in production right now. Half-track on the field for Barton to allow for forward reinforcement of his AT guns. Nice harassment in the north by that Minesweeper Pio to get the fuel point under control, and the Axis will have total fuel control. And I'm wondering what their late game is. Probably going to be Price making his way to tier 4, I guess. Barton doesn't seem to have any intention of moving beyond snipers and AT guns, plus half-track to support. Price is probably going to transition out of flamethrower Pios into Panthers or Panzer IVs later. We'll see what he chooses to do. Medical supplies being dropped right here for the snipers. All of Barton's munitions, by the way, being cranked into medical supplies and incendiary rounds, while all of Price's munitions are converted into flamethrowers. Grenade toss on that flamethrower squad doesn't really do all that much. PTRS guards are going to have to retreat from this flamethrower blob soon. The weak squads are going to backpedal towards the half-track for reinforcement. And all of these lone Soviet squads stand no chance in these engagements, will be forced to retreat after falling extremely low. And the Axis maintain control over the central fuel point. North fuel point is taken by this Minesweeper squad with 1 squad of conscripts to support against any Minesweeper or Pios that they might run into. This flamethrower blob is risking mass casualties under heavy mortar and Molotov fire. Will reposition back to safety to reinforce on the half-track, which will be very manpower expensive to keep up. Flamethrower conscripts run into short range on those AT guns to force them to reposition, and the T-70 has been fully repaired. Looks like it wants to try and execute some sort of flank around the south. T-34-85s will be fielded very soon as the Superbus makes its way to 10 CPs. Ace of Swords still quite far away from an ISU 152. But once an ISU is on the field, the Axis may struggle to deal with it, having only AT guns which are quite vulnerable to ISU fire, and the T-70 will be destroyed there by those AT guns, despite making a bit of a flanking attempt right there. Squad of conscripts wiped. Heavy mortar comes very close again to annihilating massive amounts of Pios, but fortunately it was just ever so slightly off target.
Pioneers awaiting orders.
Pretty good healing actually. It's really quick. If you have this many squads, it can take a medic bunker forever to heal your army, but if you get that AoE healing going on one of those crates, it's pretty fast. That's actually a pretty cool advantage of this strategy. Leave it to Price and Barton to find the most efficient way to blob. Still getting bled hard by Molotovs, high explosive barrage from the AT gun. Another squad gets wiped, and they're gonna have to backpedal to the half-track. Sniper firing on the guards that have been fielded now. Guards with PTRSs have a pretty good chance of wiping lone Pio squads that are a little too slow to retreat, plus heavy mortars, plus flamethrowers that's been stolen. But that aside, Price seems to be doing okay and holding onto the center fuel. It doesn't look like there's any chance of that falling into Soviet control anytime soon. Sniper moving to take control of the north fuel, gets fuel coming in for the Axis again. The Axis, at no point during this game, have managed to get any undefended territory in the south because Price is just blobbing. If you would just send 1 Pio down there, there's a lot of territory that he could maybe take, but he's just walking this blob back and forth. I feel like Price would be so much better if he would just dedicate 1 squad to map harassment. Come on, Price. There goes another squad popped. Right there. Will be forced to retreat away. Bomb run. Oh god, this bomb strike. I hope Price doesn't just tank this bomb strike. Did he even see the red smoke? Oh god, here it comes. Oh, that wasn't that bad. He kind of dodged it a little, I guess. And the Maxim will be forced to retreat by the flamethrower, but another flamethrower just burst. And he's down to 5 out of, I don't even know how many he's purchased this game. 13. This is all he's made, Pios. He currently has 5 of his original 13 pios, and he has lost 129 pile models this game. Wow. How's he doing for tech? Going battle phase 3, so he is probably going to go Panthers next. Try and defend against the T-34 85s, which are on their way. First set has already been fielded. Romeo, what's the stream schedule? I don't actually have a set schedule, but I do have a show that I run called Starcross Kings, which is a King of the Hill tournament that starts at 2 o'clock Eastern Time every day. So if that's something you're interested in, that does start at a regular time every day except Mondays and today, because I had another thing, but that's coming back on Tuesday. And I also just stream like randomly sometimes, so I stream extremely frequently though. It's pretty hard to miss my stream, I think. 2 snipers inside of this building, dealing heavy damage to conscripts. The flamethrower blob, or what's left of it, will push away. Light push here. I think an S-mine. I think an S-mine just killed the sniper in this building. T-34 is moving to engage from the north. The AT gun wall is set up right here. Is poised to do pretty good damage to those tanks, which will take advantage. Oh, that crush! That crush! Oh, he's diving straight into that AT gun wall, though. He should have stayed behind the building. Slightly over aggressive, destroyed engine crit. And that T-34 will be destroyed. Why would they ever destroy that? They definitely could have recovered that. Well, maybe not. There's nothing here that, yeah, there was conscripts there. He probably couldn't have recovered that. Oh well. There's tier 4 from BartonPL, actually. I think we might be looking at double Panther eventually. It's going to take Price a while to get his out. He's bled so much manpower. And Barton has been really struggling to keep his snipers alive this game too. This is the only one left. Picks up the last medical box. This one has 40 kills. 6 snipers produced this game. Only 1 remaining. He's going to throw a 7th one on the field next after his Panther, though. With 1 T-34 destroyed, that Panther will have a very distinct advantage on this battlefield, so that's something. Sniper has to kite this next massive wave of allied infantry. Did that sniper just die instantly? Yes. Just instantly pops to the infantry rounding the corner. Here comes a incendiary bomb run on all of this infantry. Flame blob also on its way to try and do what it can. These 3 squads will retreat through the flames as well as that one. Guards stick around, but that push is largely shut down. Just 2 squads of infantry left and a T-34 against a Panther and flamethrower blob. Various supporting AT weapons here in the back, plus half-track forward reinforcement of the Pios. Soviets are going to have to pull back a little bit, but they do have extremely good map control. I have the center fuel point, north fuel point. The only thing the Axis currently have is this victory point, really, which will stall things, but they are unlikely to be able to survive against the tides of Soviet infantry and armor. Fresh set of T-34s very soon, and an ISU-152 will be on the soon, very soon. Flamethrower burst wipes that conscript squad, though. Lone squad probing with conscripts. Overextensions like that proving very dangerous against this massed flamethrower build. You know, Price could take a moment and repair that half-track. Do his teammate a solid here. He's got nothing but Vet 3 Pios. It would take him like 2 seconds.
Reporting engineer losses. We are as ready as we can be. We are awaiting orders.
There's tier 4 from Price. He's going to have a Panther of his own out reasonably soon. He waited a while because he doesn't have as much fuel, apparently. Because he's been transferring so much of his fuel into munitions. That's where that's gone. Minesweeper Pios will clean up 2 mines here in the north. At least Barton has a Minesweeper. So nice sweep. And these flamethrower squads will take control of the strategic point, victory points, everything here in the north, while the Soviets have temporarily pulled back to prepare for their next push. Field gun right there, Maxim right there. But all Soviet forces are mobilizing towards the north to try and push the Axis out of this area. Barton's Panther will show up to try and keep that T-34 at bay. The flamethrower blob does pretty well against that first conscript squad initially. Decent chance of a wipe on that one right there, and they do get wiped. Price will move to recover the flamethrower. Heavy mortar shot brings these piles low. That squad will get away. This squad dropped a flamethrower, is forced to retreat in red cover. That flamethrower blob is doing horribly against mass guard and conscript fire. Heavy mortar wipes that squad. AT gun wall is forced to reposition backwards to safety. These two squads suppressed by a something. MG-42 apparently on the field now. Since when were they fielding those? Barton is also fielding a Panzerwerfer. 2 MG-42s out, in fact, plus anti-infantry strafe from close air support to push back some Soviet infantry and try and hold the territory here in the north. This victory point has fallen. These vehicles quite damaged. And there's the ISU-152 on the field. I don't know if the Axis are going to be able to hold this line against this assault gun. A couple shots miss and bounce, backing up ever so slightly. Grenade toss on that pack blob brings it quite low. No ISU shots have connected just yet, fortunately. Trying to do what they can against that thing, proving difficult though. Panzerwerfer firing its first barrage. Here comes a fresh set of T-34s, providing vision for the ISU, which still hasn't landed a very good shot. Too much terrain in the way. Flare being planted here on the north fuel point. Fuel being captured back in favor of the Allies. Wow, that AT gun blob just wrecked that T-34. Got too close and it is destroyed. Panther pulling back to safety away from everything. Why would these tanks dive in front of that AT gun wall without clearing it first? ISU needs to focus on taking those things out. Both T-34s destroyed. And a Panther from Price just hit the field and will block this ISU's retreat path. This engagement could not have been worse for the Allies, and all high priority targets on the Soviet side of things will be destroyed, and all Axis vehicles look like they'll make a clean escape. That Panther is going to get to safety with just a sliver of health remaining, and the flamethrower blob is going to try and push all conscripts off the field. Unsuccessfully. They will be forced back to the half track or to retreat into the Axis base. Medical supply crates being dropped right here. Pios will pick them up and get healing going on all of these various troops while there is a brief ceasefire. Heavy mortars trying to put pressure on all of the stuff in this area, trying to repair these tanks. Both Panthers are at quite low health, but there's not really anything that can destroy them right now, except for this T-34 and a field gun. Panzerwerfer barrage fortunately doesn't really hit anything. Everything should be able to get away. The AT gun wall is going to move up to try and destroy that T-34, I think. High explosive barrage plus small arms fire clears that weapon. T-34 hasn't taken any damage yet. I feel like these AT guns are just trying to capture the victory point. MG-42 supporting from back here will suppress all infantry that are trying to counter. The AT guns will capture the or decap the VP before disengaging, and an anti-infantry strafe coming in will pin everything, possibly force this retreat. The field gun is going to destroy that AT gun with T-34 support. And the Axis have not even made an attempt to take control of the south. They're just going to try engaging as well as they can here in the north, try and get this victory point and try and get this fuel coming in.
Guard rifle infantry squads can now be called to fight for the motherland.
Panther receiving repairs from... Oh, now Price is repairing. Repairs his own tank, but he won't help his team. He still hasn't repaired this half track, which I'm amazed is still alive. Like, somebody's gotta repair this thing, come on. Both Panthers, fully repaired, will move to engage against these guards and conscripts. Minesweepers should be able to clean up the flare and mine here in the north. Hoorahing conscripts. I don't even know where they're going or what they're trying to accomplish. Just running into short range with the flamethrower to try and put pressure on these machine guns, I guess, but they can only do so much. So just one completely unsupported squad going down so quick. There's the retreat. These two squads doing what they can to try and maintain control of the victory point, but they can't fight Panthers. Heavy Mortar has 33 kills, and his Vet 3 is a pretty serious threat to this stuff. Working on the AT guns right now, apparently. Since the Allies have absolutely, completely dominant map control pretty much all game, another set of T-34s will be here very soon. Probably another ISU-152, despite the existing ones being destroyed so easily. Panzerwerfer coming in on this force. It's on the field gun and mortar and everything, and it will not do anything too serious. Allies will retreat a couple wounded squads away from that. T-34 taking heavy damage from the Panthers at range, and the AT gun wall moves up to support. T-34 needs to get to safety. There's a small blob of infantry protecting. Flamethrower blob trying to push the Soviets into retreating with an anti-infantry strafe? No, anti-tank strafe coming in on the field gun. Or no, an incendiary bomb run. So many different plane abilities, I can't keep track of them all. Incendiary bomb run will clear the field gun and force a retreat from all infantry. The Soviets will get pushed all the way back into the base. Assault gun back on the field, and this T-34 needs repairs, but a Panther is diving the Soviet base. Misses its shot against the T-34, tanks an AT grenade, and will pull back to safety. Pios recover a DP machine gun before retreating. Price is down now to only 4 squads of Pios and bleeding manpower horribly. He's currently lost 191 Pio models this game. Oh, the carnage.
Ready for action.
And Barton has no snipers remaining, by the way. He's just trying to suppress infantry at this point rather than kill it and hold territory with machine guns and strafing abilities. Allied infantry blob is getting suppressed by this mass machine gun wall. ISU assault gun currently has armor-piercing rounds equipped to try and fight the Panther, when really it should probably equip high explosive and clear out all the team weapons and half-track. Kill the half-track and they can't reinforce. T-34 going in on the flank of that Panther, which will give up in its attempt to circle strafe that ISU. Trying to pull Soviet tanks into the AT gun wall. Doesn't look like they're going to fall for it though. This time. These anti-tank guns are both Vet 3. That is a bad sign. I really hope that ISU will just pop that half-track. It will be so easy. Just shoot it one more time. Marked vehicle plane gets shot down off map. And Panzerwerfer is firing at something. Doesn't hit anything. Heavy mortar will be fine. Pretty inaccurate spread right there. Medical supplies recovered by the blob of team weapons up here to try and protect against this advancing flank. One machine gun turns to counter and everything will be forced to retreat. Panther pushing the infantry around will prevent that push from inflicting any real harm, and because the half-track is still alive, this inflicts nothing more than just manpower bleed, really. CaptainSPrice down to 4 squads of Pios is not fielding more Pios when he could. He's got up to actually a little bit of manpower float right now. Maybe he's saving for a, I don't know. He's got the manpower he needs for any tier 4 unit, so should probably field some more Pios or maybe build tier 1. There's an idea. 1 Tier 1 is 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 1 Bit of an overextension by that Panther. Takes a bunch of AT grenade damage, and the ISU still has armor-piercing rounds equipped, dealing massive damage to that thing. The other Panther is going to blitz to support and scare that ISU away. It will switch targets, and that Panther looks like it's going to get to safety. 2 Katyushas being fielded by Tarquinius. Nice adaptation, by the way, to what they're up against. Double Katyusha could probably annihilate this. And it will be up to the Axis now to make aggressive pushes with their Panthers. Deep flanks to try and kill those Katyushas once they reveal themselves. First one hitting the field now and firing at all this crap. And it looks like the first barrage will do pretty okay damage, landing on the machine guns and half-tracks in this area. Almost wiping a Pio squad, pretty decent spread, but nothing too serious. The half-track is still alive, and the Axis will be able to reinforce and heal from all of that damage with medic crates. And the half-track, they need to kill this half-track. If they don't kill that half-track, this isn't going anywhere. 3 fuel caches built by Price, by the way, to get his manpower flow down. He'd rather build caches than more infantry, and he's going to start harassing here in the south with 1 Pio squad. He's not blobbing anymore. The blob has finally separated. Squad's getting suppressed here. Just walking into a machine gun blob, but the second Katyusha's on the field and is working on the team weapons. He gets a pretty good salvo off on the team weapons and AT guns here, which threaten to get wiped, plus heavy mortar fire coming in. Pretty decent chance that some of those things are going to get wiped. This Vet2 Panther doing what it can. This ISU firing at range on the Panther's frontal armor, dealing pretty decent damage to it at range. More medical supplies obtained by Price here in the north, by Barton, to try and keep his T-weapons alive to the best of his ability, but he's taking massive amounts of indirect fire and doesn't have much of a way to retaliate. The ISU still at full health. T-34 is not even trying to engage against this AT gun wall, and tons of Soviet infantry are just being hurled into the meat grinder to provide vision for the Katyusha heavy mortar. But eventually they will be forced to retreat by massed machine guns, and that half-track still lives. If the Allies don't kill that half-track, the Axis will not get pushed off this point, and they have had the clock stopped at 121 victory points for some time. Price has built 5 fuel caches with manpower flow to this point, and will continue his harassment of the south completely unopposed. Deep Panther flank right here. AT gun wall supporting will snipe the T-34, and it is destroyed, I think. These 2 Panthers making their way deep will both hit mines. Nice mines by the Soviet players to protect that ISU from being charged by Panthers, and it should be able to get to safety into the Soviet base. This Panther doesn't look like it's going to get away either. Panzerwerfer bombarding in the back doesn't even scratch that AT gun. Panther barely survives. These 2 Panthers trying to pull back to safety with flamethrower and air support. Anti-infantry strafe should be able to pin down all these squads. And both of Price's Panthers will get out of this engagement unpunished, despite everything hitting mines, taking engine damage. All the Axis tanks will get back to safety. Not enough field guns, not enough ISUs, not enough T-34-85s to punish that overly aggressive push. Katyusha barrage on the team weapon blob looks like it's a little bit off target. Molotov will force repositioning from that machine gun. The AT gun wall is getting pretty aggressive here with the Panther. Just trying to dodge Katyushas, I think, more than anything. And this 1 squad of Pios will continue across the south completely unopposed. Finally, a conscript squad with a flamethrower of their own will move down there to try and push that back and keep the territory in the south in Soviet control. Despite having spent 1,000 manpower on caches, Price still has 700 extra manpower in the bank. Which he could use on a few extra squads. I don't know what he's gonna do with that. Don't know why he doesn't just field some more Pios or something.
We have our flames ready.
If only just for more repair speed, really. Panzerwerfer is bombarding the base. It's not going to hit anything.
We're ready to strike enemy troops.
Might have provided vision of the Katyusha's location. Other than that, no big deal. Both Katyushas still alive. This one up to 11, this one up to 4. Not doing anything too amazing yet. And the ISU is dead? Wait, how did that happen? I have no idea. Did they bomb it to death or something? I don't know how the ISU died. How did I miss that? Jeez. Speaking of Stuka dive bombs, one's coming in right there. I don't think that really hit anything. Anti-infantry strafe coming in on these infantry will probably force a retreat. Those two squads will retreat right there. Here in the north, Panther and AT gun wall are advancing. These two Panthers from Price are going to move to protect territory in the center and should be fine against conscripts and guards, which don't do that much damage to these heavily armored medium tanks. I guess it doesn't make any sense to say heavily armored medium tank. I guess they're mediumly armored medium tanks. But it's like a lot of armor. Conscripts taking control of the various territory here in the south will restore it all back into Soviet control, and the fuel cache down here has been destroyed as well. Barton has 475 fuel in the bank after fielding one Panther and one Panzerwerfer. This Panther just dived into the base and found a Katyusha! And will get away unpunished. He tanks an AT grenade and the field gun doesn't do much damage to him. He will get away safely. A Stuka dive bomb is being dropped somewhere. I feel like this could do massive damage. Oh! Wow. Guards wiped. Other squads brought extremely low by that massive explosion. Meanwhile, in the center, conscripts also wiped by these two Panthers, and it looks like the Axis are taking full control of this game. Barton at 100 of 100 pop cap. Price a little lower, but with a massive amount of float, so he has plenty of room to build more units. Panzerwerfer doesn't do all that much here in the base.
Soldiers ready. Awaiting orders.
And it looks like Barton is setting up a base lock right here that the Soviets just cannot crack. Ace of Swords is going to field his third ISU soon, try and push the Axis back out of the base. Maybe this will prove to be slightly over-aggressive right here by Barton. We'll see. Two T-34s right there. There's one Katyusha left, and there's also an ISU on the field very soon. And firing at this range, that Katyusha could do pretty good damage. T-34s look like they're going to advance out of the base to try and execute a big push. With Katyusha support, with ISU support, there's a decent chance that it could go pretty well. Here in the middle, field gun plus Maxim plus various supporting infantry seem to be maintaining control of the fuel for now before Price pushes with his fully repaired Panthers. Katyusha barrage firing on Barton's blob right here is definitely softening it up, and it's going to have to pull back to safety, but if they don't kill that half-track, they're never going to break free. Medical supply crates being deployed here to enable Barton to hold this line. The Panthers at about half, T-34s peek and pull back. That AT gun just got cleared. There's currently only one AT gun left. And that ISU went middle. He's not helping his teammate. He went middle to try and fight against Price. T-34 is going in hard here. Both AT guns cleared. Why would he not focus fire the half-track down, though? Please! As a Vet 3 Panther, it's gonna be pretty tanky. That half-track will die in like one volley. Oh, that T-34 got abandoned and then destroyed by friendly AT gun fire. This T-34 pulls back to safety. Barton is being forced back slightly, but he has definitely not been pushed off the map. Price's Panthers, on the other hand, pushed all the way back into the base by the ISU, which is not really that well suited to flanks, but apparently it is going to flank Barton here from the south, making its way forward. And it's gonna actually start blowing up fuel caches, probably. Price has built a fuel cache on every single strategic point that the Axis hold this game. And Barton still holds this position. He still has his Panther. He has lots of repair power. He has a half-track available for reinforcement. He may be able to recover one team weapon, but both of his AT guns are destroyed, which leaves him quite vulnerable to pushes by Soviet armor. Fortunately, only one T-34 is left on the battlefield, so the Allies don't have that much push potential here. And if that ISU overextends itself and leaves its rear vulnerable to a huge push by 3 Panthers, there is an extremely good chance of it being destroyed. I feel like this is a blatant overextension by this unit, and I don't know how it's going to survive a push by 3 of Price's Panthers. This is basically the last hope the Allies have right now, and its rear armor is pointed straight at 3 Panthers, which are coming for it now. I don't think this could possibly go well. Katyusha softening up the front line right here, and just as Tarquinius Superbus is making progress against Barton's army, which is getting scary small, Price makes a huge push with his Panthers in conjunction with Barton's Vet 3 Panther here. That ISU is completely stranded with no support except for one T-34 and a field gun right here, which is not enough to save it. This huge blitzkrieg by the Axis is going to inflict massive harm, but Barton's Panther is coming dangerously low and is destroyed. Vet 3 Panther for Barton finally taken out, but the ISU explodes in a giant fireball. This T-34 also going to go down. Gets a lucky main gun destroyed crit, but it's not going to matter. There it goes. Field gun trying to protect the flank, takes out one more Panther, and 2 of the original Panthers now remain. Panzerwerfer tries to clear out all infantry and team weapon formations, but that Vet 2 field gun will get away with just a sliver, as all Panthers trying to disengage away from the fight for repairs. The half-track is still alive, and Pios will be able to reinforce out of it to repair Captain Price's Panthers back to full. Broom Bear on the field, double Broom Bear on the field for Barton, which he will use to try and blow up all of these remaining Soviet team weapons and infantry blobs and push them back into the base. The clock is still stopped at 121 points for the Axis, and all team weapons will get cleared out by that Broom Bear with MG42 support there in the north. These guards just being thrown into the meat grinder. Grenade toss on that MG42, it will need to be reinforced by the half-track, which is still alive, and double Broom Bear on the field to push all conscripts and guards back off this battlefield and keep the clock ticking in favor of the Axis. Gonna destroy a couple of team weapons here with these Broom Bears while he has a moment of quiet.
Standing by. AT gun is ready for combat.
Sure, I'll do a quick count of all squad wipes this game. Superbus has lost 1 guard squad, 1 conscript, 3 combat engineers, mortar apparently, field gun, and 6 T-34s. Ace of Swords has lost a combat engineer squad, 3 field guns, 2 T-70s, and 3 ISU-152s. Price has lost 14 of his 18 Pios produced this game, and honorable mention, of course, for losing 226 infantry models, although the Soviets have actually caught up in infantry losses and have now lost more than Price. And Barton has lost 1 Pio, 7 snipers, 3 MGs, 4 AT guns, 1 of his 1 Panther, and is now operating, of course, on 2 Sturmpanzer Broom Bears. So, pretty lethal game for everybody involved. Wow! Pretty good spread on that Panzerwerfer. Wipes the conscript squad right there. Pios reinforcing by the half track and repairing this. These two Panthers move up to engage against the
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
guards right there. Pioneers taking control of the south munitions, and this Pio squad is moving to take control of the strategic point. And these are gonna bleed all frontal assaults horribly if they don't get cleared out by long-range weapons. Nice attempt at the field guns. That one's gonna have to pull back for repairs. This one falling pretty low, pretty quick. Field guns trying to push the Axis back. One machine gun here to try and bleed infantry. Katyusha's gonna try and clear that machine gun out. That spread's not particularly on target. And those guards just got wiped by the Broom Bears as they advanced. Machine gun cleared by the Katyusha. No. Packs up and repositions to safety here, where it will need reinforcement by the half track, which is still somehow alive. And the Soviets have actually accumulated the fuel they need for even more call-ins. There will be another set of T-34s in the next 2 minutes. There will be another ISU as, well actually he's bleeding manpower like crazy. He's gonna have to float a lot more manpower, try not to bleed so much in his frontal assaults. If he wants to ever get a third ISU out, although in all fairness, I don't know what an ISU can do for them when there are this many Panthers on the field. More Panzerwerfers being produced, 2 Panthers out, one of which is Vet 3, and the Broom Bears will have no problem clearing out massive waves of Soviet infantry with ease. Here in the middle of Flamethrower, we'll push away a Minesweeper squad, another Flamethrower taking control of the South Victory Point. Squad pulling back. There are, I think, 4 Panzerwerfers on the field right now. Gonna try and clear out. Oh, that was a perfect rocket. Wow. Vet 3 field gun wiped just like that. Moves to recover with these conscripts. Another Panzerwerfer is firing somewhere. In this general area, just bleeding infantry formations so that if they do even make it to the Broom Bears, they'll get blasted and cleared. And there is a triple cap going against the Allies and against all odds. A game that I thought for sure was unwinnable. The victory points are now going to pull even, 120 to 121 as the Axis pull into the lead. There's so many Panzerwerfers. Fortunately, that one was pretty off target. Here in the south, very wounded guards push away a Pioneer squad. Will be able to slow the victory point drain. Maxim protecting the fuel, and fresh guards have been fielded to the general area to try and defend this fuel point. There's not very much Axis stuff here. Price currently has fuel cache, 5 fuel caches up. He has not replaced anything beyond these 4 squads of Pios, just operating on 4 Pios and a ton of tier 4, which has resulted in him having quite a bit of manpower float this game, but it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. Field gun destroyed by Sturmpanzer fire and Panzerwerfer fire. This one falls low and has to pull back for repairs against just massed field guns. Soviets spamming AT guns hard, which is pretty good against this composition. The Axis don't really have any infantry at all. They only have support weapons and Pios for repairs. But Panzerwerfers are bleeding those AT guns hard. Every time they fire, there's a decent chance of a wipe. So much rocket artillery. These 18 guns advance is very expensive. Conscripts trying to take control of the victory point and start the clock ticking against the Axis again. They will wipe the point before being forced to retreat right there, and a Katyusha falling in this area, stealing what damage it can to the various team weapons, will clear a machine gun. Lots of Pios in the area to get those Broom Bears repaired very quickly. And there's a third one on the field. 3 Broom Bears, 2 Panzerwerfers, and a half-track. Bringing Barton to 86 of 100 pop cap on almost nothing but tier 4 units, and a 4th Broom Bear is in production now.
You need something? MG element ready.
Recon pass plus Stuka dive bomb coming down on some stuff over here, which is sort of dodging. Nope. AT gun cleared. Conscript squad almost wiped.
You are showing weakness. We are down to 75 points.
75 points now remain for the Allies. Axis not making a harassment attempt south, fortunately for them, so Allies will have a little bit of time while they try to execute some sort of miracle comeback here. They've got a ton of fuel banks but no manpower reserves, so they can't field further call-ins. They may not even have time
AT guns have been neutralized.
to wait for that, especially when they're bleeding manpower so badly. And they're going to be bleeding manpower even faster if they attempt forward reinforcement out of a half-track, the way their opponents have been all game. Broom Bears moving up to try and break through some of these defenses with a frontal assault, but up against 3 AT guns that may prove difficult. That barrage does clear that gun entirely. This Broom Bear has to pull back for repairs. These two still in pretty good condition. They're going to disengage from just mass field guns. Just way too many to take on with a frontal assault. Half-track slowly moving up with team weapon support to try and push back the Axis lines and get victory point control back before it's too late. MG-42 trying to slow down these guards, and Panzerwerfer barrages are going to soften up this Soviet advance. First one coming in right there. Spread is a little bit off target. Doesn't look like it's really going to hit anything except for minor damage on that AT gun. The Soviet advance will continue. MG-42 pushes away that squad of guards, and this flank right here gets annihilated by just mass Oster Tier 4. Just so, I've never seen so much Oster Tier 4 on one battlefield. But I guess in an hour-long game, anything is possible. Molotov toss on that machine gun threatens to clear it, but it does suppress the conscript squad that attempts to make its way forward. Pio squad going deep will spot a Katyusha. It's falling low. So many craters. Pios get wiped by the half-track. Pios die to provide vision for the Panzerwerfer barrage, which is coming in on this field gun wall. The spread is slightly off target. Actually, no, pretty good spread. Very good spread. Clears that field gun and almost clears that one as well. And that Panzerwerfer barrage just killed a Katyusha. I think any hope that the Soviet players may have had of coming back is now extinguished. A final desperate suicidal charge by these T-34s is the death knell of the Soviets this game, which could not stand before the might of Luftwaffe supply and close air support. Flamethrower Pio blobs transitioning from sniper and AT gun spam into massive amounts of Oster Tier 4 units with fuel cache spam. Wow. Pretty interesting game. The T-34s are killed with these by the massive amount of Panthers and Broom Bears up here. The final infantry push into the victory point circle will be annihilated. Almost no Soviet units now remain. Conscripts and field gun left for Superbus. And actually a pretty decent sized army for Ace of Swords, but there's not really anything he's going to be able to do with that army against 4 Broom Bears. And a stupid dive bomb is about to come down on everything. And there it is, GG, well played, being exchanged. And Barton says empty game, of course. He can't just be polite. Is that so much to ask for? Is it really? The Allies will surrender. Good game. Axis wins.